Okay, everybody, welcome to the
Hello.
Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. To my right, is that my right? Ooh,
Other way.
the other way? No, I
Other
see
right.
Val. No, well, anyways, whatever it's coming up as,
Wait, that way.
this is Val. It's looking fine on my end. Next to her is Marina from Heart Centered Tarot, and sorry, Val from Dragonfly Crystals. And okay, if we go clockwise, we have Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, and last but certainly not least, the big voice of Allison Airy Girls Tarot. I love how Allison always brings a perspective we never thought of. It's refreshing. I love it. Today our topic is boundaries, and I've got some notes here about um, how have you evolved in setting your boundaries and keeping those boundaries. How are you doing? I know it was always very hard for me. Um, what do you do with toxic family members and boundaries? How do you keep those boundaries and maintained? How have you? Sorry, so you evolve at setting boundaries, but in what areas of life do you find it most difficult? So I'll leave it there. I mean, you don't have to answer all those questions, ladies. Just about boundaries and now we could go in order, or we could ask who would like to answer first.
Yeah. Val,
Share.
you're right there.
Okay, so
Right.
here's the thing. I don't really have trouble setting my boundaries because
Well, that's good. Give
if
us
I don't want
tips.
to do something, I say to someone, I'm
Mhm.
not available or I'm not
Right.
able to do such and such. As for toxic relatives and whatnot, I'm able to leave them aside and not be able to I don't have to meet with them because it's some family obligation. No, I don't feel that way. And I meet people I like. I have people around me that I like, and I don't have energy around me that I'm not comfortable with. I'm at this age. You don't,
Exactly. Well, our age certainly helps, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so what areas do I find it most difficult to honor boundaries I've set with others? Uh, Actually, I can't really think even my husband, I mean, I have really good boundaries.
Good for
Poor
you.
guy. "Well, I'm sorry, I'm busy." "Well, can't you come up and watch The Walking Dead with me?" "Well, not can we schedule it for" poor my husband. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I've got the boundaries handled.
Okay, do you have any tips for people, let's say in the chat or viewers who view this
Go with what
later?
your heart tells you. Your heart is the indicator. If you feel diminished by being around someone, then
Mhm.
set your boundaries and limit that time, or else make sure that you're not in the same vicinity with that person. Or if somebody's always asking to meet with you and maybe you were nice, you thought, oh, okay, sure. But then if you keep meeting with them, they kind of drain you. Oh, I'm not available now. Sorry, honey. Whatever. Just don't wait. Tell them up front. You don't have to be unkind about it, but
No.
you do need to be kind to yourself with your own energy. And that's really about managing
Absolutely.
your energy in a very
Mhm. Mhm.
profound way by
Mhm.
taking the power back. And yeah, that's all.
Well, thank you. And Marina, what part of that would you like to
It's a
talk
lot
about?
easier to set boundaries. Yeah, now that I'm older, it was something that I
Mhm.
kind of had to grow into and to learn. And I think a lot of it had to do with me being able to figure out that setting boundaries was something that I did for myself. I didn't have to worry about how this other person is going to perceive it or whether or not I was being nice, because that's kind of where it brought up a lot of a fear, I guess, in me, in that if I set a boundary, um, I wasn't being very nice to the other person. I wasn't all taking their feelings into consideration and so on. And it took a little bit of, kind of digging and deep thinking to realize that no, no, this is, I am not being selfish when I set a boundary. I am honoring myself. I'm honoring my path. And I'm also letting the other person know what I will and will not tolerate. Because very often, the other person that's involved, um, they may not be aware of the fact that they're draining on your time, or that they're draining your energy, or because you haven't said anything, right? So yeah, when it's explained, or um, yeah, let's, in the case of a family member having to say, you know what, we might be related by blood, and I honor that relationship, but I just don't like you as a person.
Well, that's putting it
That's
all
like
out there.
90% of my family.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we don't have a whole lot in common. We've got different paths in life, different goals. So, is it the fact that because we're family, we have to do this? No, we don't. If this was a friend who was doing it, you wouldn't have a hard time saying this isn't working for me. So the same rules should apply to the family. So no, as I've gotten older, it's much easier to set those boundaries and expectations. Yeah, when people know what to expect, there's not a whole lot of room for misinterpretation.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And yeah. And like Val said, say what you mean and mean what you
What
say.
you say.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sherry, going
I'm
clockwise.
not very good at setting boundaries. I guess because I had such low self-esteem growing up.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I was always a people pleaser. It was like if I could make everybody else happy, then that would translate to I would be happy. It
Yeah.
took a long time for me to realize that doesn't exactly equate with one another. And I still have a hard time, especially at work, because you're in demand and so many people need you right now to do this, do that, do the other. And it's it can really kind of set folks back sometimes whenever I say, no, I can't do that right now. Of course, my fallback answer is, I'm on a deadline. Talk to me tomorrow. Of course, it's usually true. It's not like I'm lying to them, but and when it comes to family, well, except for my immediate family, there's only a couple of cousins that I keep up with anymore. I mean, most of the family I grew up around are all dead now, because they were all of my great aunts and stuff. Um, and I the handful of friends I have, I mean, we just live such different lives that we rarely ever see each other. Anyway, I see people online more than I see people in real
Yeah.
life.
It's true.
I have more in common with the people I know online than I do with the actual physical people that walk around me in my space. So, but I think my hardest problem was always saying no to somebody because I had such a low self-esteem for myself. I didn't, it was like if I say no, then they're not going to like me anymore. It was that kind of thing. And it took me a really long time to kind of figure that out and get past it. And it's still a chore for me to have to tell somebody, no, I can't do that right now. without having to come up with a million excuses why I can't do it right now. So
Right.
okay, so
Whoever's typing,
you know,
mute.
it's just I'm sorry.
I said, if whoever's typing, can you mute? It's really loud. We can hear it.
Oh, that's that what that was. I thought it was the animals in the back. They get loud sometimes. But yeah, it's just been a learning curve
Mhm.
over the years for me, you know. And I'm still not very good at it, but I'm working on it, you know. I'm getting there. A little at a time.
Excellent. Yep. It's something I have to work on all the time too. Allison.
I don't really have to do a whole lot of that, which probably isn't very surprising, just with the way that I am about things. I mean, I cleaned out anybody that I would have to set boundaries with a long time ago. And the friends that I do have, we're pretty much on the same page, and it's very understood, and we're very similar. So, one thing I will mention though that did come up, and it definitely falls under this umbrella,
Mhm.
at my job, and that's a different dynamic, right?
Yeah.
You're at work, and you kind of have to go along to get along, and whatever. So that can get tricky.
Mhm.
And so I kind of do my own thing as much as I can, only because there's definitely some undesirable type, I mean, we all have our cup of tea, right? And then we all have what's not our cup of tea. So, you're really able, other than the kids, and the kids are fine, but like the job that I do, I am pretty able to fly solo, just the way the whole system operates. But there are times when, and now I'm working with special need kids, so I do have a monitor that's with me. And I just lost my full-time monitor like a week ago. And so I've been getting a temporary person daily until they assign me somebody permanent. And I've had some, just some personalities, and everybody gets along, and it's not that, but it's like, I'm not going to go into a long tangent. There's situations where you may not choose to express your boundaries because it might be a very limited situation. It's not
Yeah.
worth the fallout of doing so. And so you just kind of, take that experience, recognize what it is, and go on your merry way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, but that's not, so I just wanted to kind of explain, I got a situation that kind of falls under that, but it's unique. And this is a time, at least to me, where you just don't, it's like, I can deal, right? It's just whatever. And, now if it was a repeated thing, let's say one of these people ended up being my permanent monitor, I would have to, address that or whatever. I don't see that happening though. Management values me as an employee. They're not going to stick me with something that's not going to make me happy. But anyways, that's what I have to share. And family, it's a non-issue. I took care of that years ago. And something else I do, actually, sorry, I will say one other thing. A lot of times, at least in my family and the people that I was around, once you voice it at least once, people get it.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to have that conversation again. You know what I mean? And you obviously, or hopefully, maybe not obviously, make it as pleasant as you can. But when you're defending yourself and you're explaining yourself and you're setting your boundaries, it's, regardless of how cool and nice you are about it, it's not always the most comfortable conversation, and most people aren't anxious to revisit it. So,
exactly. I've had people be dumb as bricks about it. And like, they just go on. The next time we meet, they're the same exact way.
Yeah.
That's self-absorbed. It can't get it.
Those are the people you have to.
And then you just don't see them again.
Get rid of.
Bye.
Nice life, which is what I did with a lot of people. And I don't feel bad about it. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's fine. Now, as long as, you send them off and, take care, and it's better than being around them and being in a bad mood
And
or
and shouldn't they
irritated.
be around people that they resonate with
Yes,
and like what the
absolutely.
tricks are?
You're just not
Yeah.
part of my, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
what I have.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
So just hello to everyone that's in here with us. We've got Heather just joined us. Hi, Heather. Debbie No.
I Heather.
Michelle L. Annie Hamlet. Flower Beauty. Marby Gangora. Hello, Marby. Secrets of the Red Moon. Tara, welcome. Watcher 99. Mousy Girl. Who else? Teresa Haydarian, Linnea, Mary Thornberry, Book Bewitched, Judy B. Thank you for spending part of your evening or late afternoon with us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Alrighty.
you, Marina. I was going to do that, but that's great. No, I did do a blanket
Hey, Rossi.
welcome to people
Yeah.
coming in the chat, but I wouldn't be typing like mad if I tried to acknowledge each one while we were discussing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Rossi just came in and Amanda Carroll.
Yep.
Carol, welcome.
Hey, Amanda Carroll.
For myself, I have to say with along with Sherry that I was a people pleaser and always the moderator and trying to fix things and that kind of stuff. I was always the nice one. I was, I wanted to do the right thing by people, but certainly through some of the relationships I've had, both at work and in my private life, I began to realize I got to say something here.
Yeah.
So with age, it's gotten so much better. I know I got the reputation at work that if there was some sort of issue going on at work and people going in the background, that I would bring it up, with that person or at a staff meeting. So I was known as the mother hen because I looked after my chicks, right? And also I find I'm much better at defending and putting boundaries, helping other people set boundaries that need help, right? Like I would come
Yeah.
to their defense, that sort of thing. And then say to them, you don't need to put up with that shite. So, when I see a really lazy student who's going to his mother and he's in grade 3, he's going, hang up my backpack, take my, no, he doesn't even say that, just give us his mother's backpack. And I just went, Mom, no. And then I would talk to them and said, now, could we think of a better way of talking to your mother? Or why don't you handle your backpack all by yourself? You're a big boy. So anyways, but I would talk to the mom too saying, don't let him treat you like that. But yeah, I found it very hard to set boundaries and I've had to, and I've gotten better at it, with age and now being a crone, right? It's much easier. It's, it's telling people your needs, what you will and won't put up with, as you said, Marina. And it's, and if they don't hear you, you can say it again, but then set a boundary like,
Yeah.
Or if you speak to me in that manner again,
Yeah.
I don't really need you in my life. I've got really positive people in my life. So it is hard, but once you do it and you get practice at it, you'll get better and you'll realize it's for you. It's for your mental health and your spirit and in your energy, and that you don't need these toxic people in your life. Like I have a sister I talk to. I have a brother that I talk to. We'll phone each other. I have a sister that I don't. Because it's not
You
worth
can't
it yet.
pick your family.
No, whereas my other sister's always complaining that, oh yeah, Linda's not talking to me again. Like it's like what? It's this on and off again thing all the time. And I think, why do you bother?
Yeah.
So, anyways, boundaries are really important. And as you have practice setting them, it does get easier and you'll feel your energy is so much better and that you don't feel like you're victimized by anybody. You're being strong and being a powerful person.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that, if you don't have to be nasty about setting a boundary. You don't have to call people out if somebody kind of, just steps on the line or whatnot. It's there are lovely and nice ways, like you said, to explain it, to set it. And sometimes, you may not even need to actually sit them down and have a conversation. It's that friend who only calls you when they need something, right? And if they don't need anything, they don't call you. Well, sometimes when they call and say, "Oh, could you do me a favor?" "No, I'm sorry, I'm busy." And you do that a couple times and they clue in. Oh, okay, well, no, I'm not going to call her. She's probably too busy. Darn right. So, yeah.
You may also not even say anything and just poof.
That's what I did.
That's
Because,
what my sister
when
and
you
I
met them
did
in
with-
person, you met them in person, you set the boundaries, and then you meet them again and they do the same thing. You poof them.
I
Oh,
tried doing that once for sure with my
Boom.
dad. My
Mhm.
sister and I both poofed my dad.
Yeah, you do.
years
You've got to
ago.
do it.
Yeah, I did it. I did it.
I didn't tell him.
Don't
Surprise, still
don't need
trying
to.
figure it out.
Yeah, they'll get it very
Yeah.
quickly.
It's like, you don't get it. That's
Yeah.
fine. We'll talk on the other side.
That's
when
it.
we're all
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
good.
going. I made the decision that I was going to cut my toxic dad out of my life, and I went out for one last visit. And I was thinking, like, this is my last visit. I'm not going to tell him why, but I just want to say goodbye, and that kind of thing. So he said to the rest of the family, he said, "There's something up with Sharon."
Why
And
Yeah,
I didn't
agree.
see him till I was at his memorial. I have to say, I know Indigo Heather very kindly told people that were trying to answer. They were
Absolutely.
asking questions in the chat. I just want to ask Linda Burgess. Are you the Linda Burgess that I know? Like, you live on Salt Spring Island? Anyways, and if it is that person from Salt Spring Island, I can answer that. I can help with that privately.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other things you'd like to say? Put your 2
Oh,
cents worth
He
in?
says no.
No. Okay. All right. No, I have a very lovely, very close friend. Now, actually, that's interesting because Linda Burgess, my friend, is something we had to agree on a boundary. And that
Mhm.
was, she taught next door, and I love her dearly. And we retired the same year and that kind of thing. But when we went out for coffee and stuff like that, somehow she'd get into politics and talk about Trump. And she's a Canadian, and these wild theories, right? She's drunk the Kool-Aid. So we finally agreed that, because I would tell her what I thought. And we finally had to agree that we weren't going to talk about those subjects anymore, that they were off the table. I said, great. And it's never been an issue
Yeah.
since. So in that way, I didn't have to cut her off. We just talked about it and said, yeah, this can't be part of our interactions. So, and it's
Yeah.
years later now. And I love her so much. Okay. So I guess we'll go to questions. And I have those questions.
Let me say before we get going,
Absolutely.
Flower Beauty was asking, how does she post a question if not in the chat?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Every weekend we all post on our pages under the community tab. We will post a notice that we're taking questions for the upcoming Wednesday show. We meet every Wednesday. And so then Wednesday morning, we pull all the questions from all of our channels together. And then whoever the host is that night will be the kind of the moderator of making sure we get to all the questions. And then that way we can cover more people and in a kind of a quicker period. Now, if you leave a question, you also need to be present in the chat on that Wednesday night when we answer the question. Otherwise, we'll just skip it and we'll, maybe the next week you'll show up because things happen. We understand that. But it was just, it got with 5 or 6 of us, because we've got a person missing tonight. So normally with 6 of us reading, if you're trying to pull questions from chat and everything, it just gets very time consuming and very confusing, and people get their feelings hurt because they think we skipped them. And
Yeah.
And so just to avoid all of that, we set our own boundary for the show and just said, if you have a question, please put it in the community tab under the notice, and then we'll answer, and then be there on the Wednesday night when we do the show. And that's
And
how
the,
you put questions.
and the other thing is we are all on, have our own channels or on other shows where we do that stuff all the time, where we answer people's questions, and I'm quite happy to do so.
Yeah.
This is just a little different format. Okay.
You can't,
so-
sorry, just somebody had asked if it's too late to put a question in the community tab right now. Yes, the cutoff for questions for Wednesday's show is at 12 noon Pacific time on the Wednesday of the show. But we will all, on our individual YouTube pages, we will all put up the thumbnail and request and say, post your questions for Wednesday's show below. And that's when you go into the comments, you type in your question, and that's where we get the questions from.
Okay.
So there. And hello, everyone that's come in.
Absolutely. Yes, there's Jules Niner. Hello. And we'll honor your request, Jules. Well, actually, we could do Jules now, couldn't we? Because she's here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that. Jules Niner asks, how do I get back on my path, or am I still on it? And remember, we just draw for the chat members that we just draw 1 card each. Sometimes I sneak in 2.
She shouldn't.
But it's anyways.
Yeah.
That's
We love her. That's why we let her get away with it.
That's right. Well, sometimes, Spirit's going, you need 1 more card to explain this. Oh, all right.
I'll start. So Jules Niner. So you are always on your path, no matter where you are or what you're doing. You're never off the path. But they're telling you, reminding you to trust the niggle. That is really about trusting your intuition when you get the hits. And you do. So this is just showing you along the path. Listen to your intuition, pay attention to things around you, stay present. You're always on your path.
And
All right.
absolutely. I totally confirm that. What I got was focus. Focus. And like Val said, you are always on the path. Sometimes, the mind likes to wander, and that's all right. That's fine. To get back on your path, just focus. Focus in on what it is that you want to do, and you'll be right back on track. Yeah.
Okay, I pulled the new moon in Sagittarius, and it says luck is on your side. And so I went to go just kind of take a peek, see what exactly they were meaning with that. And what they're talking about here, luck is always on your side. Whenever you feel yourself going off your path, journal, keep a journal, or keep a little notebook. You can just jot down a few words, something to kind of bring you back around full circle and remind you that, yes, okay, maybe I had to step off the path today because of whatever reason, but I step right back on it tomorrow and I continue my journey. And I think that if we do that on a regular basis, there's less and less chance of us getting knocked off that path whenever something out of the ordinary hits. It's just a matter of keeping it uppermost in your mind of what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. Thank you, Sherry. And Allison.
Jules, this is the Nine of Pentacles. You are blessed. You have a lot in your life. I feel like in some way everything you need is already there, or maybe you're just not seeing it. We all go through things, so maybe you're going through something that has you feeling a little bit off, and that's why you're asking if you're still on your path. A lot of times, and I'm sure you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, sometimes things come into our lives, not sometimes, they always come into our lives, and it's there to teach us something. And so then we can feel a little off or whatever, but it's always a blessing, right? Like I've been through some serious stuff in the last 15 years, at least what my limits are, right? I mean, that's all very personal, what you can handle. But after coming out on the other side of it, I see why it all happened and what the silver lining was and all of that. For the most part, there's still a couple things, but I think they haven't completely shown what it is. I do have, so you have Eight of Pentacles. I do have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. So you might have some sort of a choice that you need to make right now about something. Possibly does not feel like the automatic Lovers definition to me that a lot of people go to. This feels more like a choice about something, which may or may not mean something to you, but I just felt prompted to at least mention that. But Nine of Pentacles, you're probably just going through whatever you're going through, and I'm not making light of it, but I'm just saying, are you on your path? Yeah. And with the crow here, yes, a resounding yes, you are. You're not off your path.
Okay, thank you. Well, I drew the Five of Pentacles. And what that's said to me right away was life happens. We're thrown these challenges all the time. And as Allison said, we learn, we find out later, we learn from them. But look, the way the path to, light, what's the word?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Thank you. And you had light in it. The path to the enlightenment is still there. You may be off it temporarily, or it's, there's still, it's a lesson you had to live through, but you are still on the path to enlightenment.
And that is a choice. That light
Yes.
inside of that church, there's an
Yeah.
option. Where do we go? There's an option.
Yeah, exactly.
A choice. You
Yeah.
could go inside the building. Obviously, this is all metaphor.
Yeah,
And I don't know
exactly.
for certain, but that light shining, those people are walking around outside when they could go into the church.
Yeah, exactly. They're not looking. They're not looking. They're deep in their shite. Thoughts, right. So,
yeah.
Okay, so the next question is from Nez97. Now, do we read for people that are in the chat, or it doesn't matter?
You know what? I haven't seen Ness come in,
but we do it anyway.
No, I think one of the things that Sherry mentioned is if you're going to post a question,
okay,
be here when we read on it. And yeah, we can, maybe read on it next week if for some reason.
Put it at the end. It may, she may just be late later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, the next one is Peace Mama 7122. Are they here? I haven't noticed, but then I haven't been looking at the chat 100%. No. Okay.
No.
Dark Angel Fire 83. I don't think I've seen that name either.
Wow. Hey, Claudia.
So that's it.
Wow. We could have an early night.
We could.
We could have, an early night. So, as long as we're talking about boundaries, and this is probably a really good time to bring it up.
Right.
And for those of you that are that are in the chat, know that we really enjoy reading for you. If we didn't, we wouldn't be doing this, and we certainly wouldn't be doing it every week. And I'm about to get real with you, okay? We enjoy doing this, but sometimes it's like, you know, I feel like I'm the entertainment du jour. And that's not being respectful to me, and it's not being respectful to my sisters when you when you post a question, when you're always asking the same question over and over and over again. After a while, spirit doesn't communicate anything, because it's like, well, you know what, we gave you the answer 16 times. What makes you think that this time it's going to be different, right? So think of it as if you went to see a lawyer and you said to the lawyer, I'm having a problem with my neighbor, and I think their property, their fence is over on my line. Can you take a look at that and give me some advice on what I should do? And the lawyer, maybe this is a social situation, so the lawyer says, oh yeah, absolutely, no problem. You know what, just take a look at your deed, and all the information will be there. You take that advice. Do you then look around for another lawyer and say, listen, I'm having an issue with my neighbor, and go through the same thing, right? It's like, it's that professional courtesy. So even though, like I said, I love doing this, I wouldn't be doing it. I do it with an open heart. But you need to respect that what I am doing is sharing a gift with you. Accept it and use it as such. Do not abuse.
And to remember, it's your guides coming through, Marina or I or any of the other readers. We are channeling your guides and the information that is trying to come through from your angels, whoever, your spirit team. So you're disrespecting them by not listening to the answer you get and asking again and again and again. It weakens the power of when you get an answer from your guides. You want to stand in your power. If you're just looking for acknowledgement for what you hear from your guides, that's great. One time is good, but one time is always good, because getting readings over and over is not the best course of action for anyone.
No.
It doesn't matter who it is, just so you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny. Just let me see up here. Oh my gosh, did I miss it? Yeah, what Jules Niner said, it could be that they didn't like what Spirit offered as advice.
Yeah, I flashed it up.
Exactly. Oh, did you? Oh,
and it's hard. No, exactly. No, I've seen people shop around. Now, I won't say his name because I haven't had permission to say, I don't want to talk about him but a very person we all know, a really good medium and psychic and reader and so on. He told me, he said in the last conversation I had with him, he says, I'm getting really tired of people that ask a question. I give them, what comes through. And then they go around to all the channels asking the same question. He says, I feel it hurts him.
Yes.
It's insulting.
It does.
It's insulting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even, he thought you're diminishing my gift.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And I have done on my channel, because can be a pretty straight shooter, as Sherry knows.
Yeah.
I'll just say, you've asked, they'll ask it of me overnight. I've answered that question a few times. Sorry, not going to answer it again.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that was setting a boundary.
Yeah.
And
And they're the one with
and
the
you
issue. Personally, I wouldn't take offense to it. It's like, no, they're the one that clearly, and also a lot of times when, and sorry, I gotta just say this. A
yeah,
lot
go
of
ahead.
times when they're asking the
Speak
same
your
thing over
truth,
and over
girl.
and over, it's some toxic situation that they're not dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to
Exactly.
read on that.
Yeah.
No,
You already
exactly.
read on it.
Yep.
It's not going to
Yeah.
be a different answer like you
Yeah.
want it to be.
Answered.
Yeah, I know, and that's
exactly.
what I would say is
That's
it's
the
not going to
answer.
be different.
It's going to be the same answer.
And it reminds me, when Leah says up here, it's obsessive. And I had one,
Yeah.
I
You're
had
not
one person who was
yeah.
I've had a few people that are definitely obsessive, and I've had to call them on it, you know.
Yeah.
I was going to say I read for my cousin, and she asked the question about she was trying to wondering about. I keep asking this guy who's a friend of mine. He wants something more in the relationship, but I don't. And he doesn't. So I gave her the reading, and my answer was, he's not getting it, and he never will. You know, the energy of the reading was the 9 of Cups, and you sitting there like, my way or the highway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I said, he won't get it. You're going to have to put a boundary down, saying, if you keep pushing this, I'm going to have to not see you anymore. Like, as a friend, sorry. And she won't do it. She's too nice, and she keeps complaining about this guy. And so,
Well, that's the lesson.
yeah,
Your light bulb
exactly.
is supposed to go on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Yeah,
even
exactly.
about him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Should have been nipped in the bud. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I have jokingly, but partly a little seriously said, you know, when being asked the same question over and over, I'll tell you what, book a 1-hour reading, pay
Yeah, there you
for
go.
it.
Yeah, we'll do a deep
And
dive.
yeah, exactly. We can do a deep dive, or you tell me what you want to hear. And after you pay me, I will tell you what you want to hear.
There you go.
So there. And it's funny,
and we
when
can
I've said
all
that to
understand.
people, they never make an appointment. Go figure.
Yeah.
Hello, Miss Tarot
Exactly, Miss
D.
Tarot D. It's a
Yes.
guidance, not a
For
fix.
guidance, not a fix. Exactly. Exactly. And
and
the
and
thing
an-
that Leah said just before, she said, you got to do the work.
Yes.
yeah,
You got to do the
I
work.
mean, we all understand that somebody asking a question may then turn around and ask another person the same question for validation, but they're usually fairly clear about that up front. You know, well, so and so told me this.
Mhm.
Do you get anything different, or
Yeah.
are you getting the same answer?
Yeah.
Those I don't mind answering, but I don't like
Mhm.
the repetitive over and over and over again, or being pitted against
Yeah,
the other readers like I'm in competition with them.
exactly.
It's not a competition. We're all on the same team. We're all trying to help. We all care about y'all. You know, it's just like we care about us. I mean, we come on to do this when we're sick, when we're tired, when we were almost in a car accident. We were, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
we still show up. So it's like we try to respect y'all's time that you're going to come spend with us. So we ask that you respect our time to come spend with you.
Yeah, Shawam, I can see that. You might want to ask it again because it's you're not quite
Right.
understanding. But there's some people that ask again and
A couple
again.
times is one thing, but like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
have, and I'm sorry, you know, guys, this is me, being like,
It-
is he cheating on me? Is there something I need to know? Is
Yeah,
there
exactly.
da-da-da? Yes,
He is.
yes, he is.
Because
And
if
you
that's the energy you're putting out there, he's going to cheat on
if
you.
you have to ask that
Driving him
question,
crazy, and now he's, you know, yeah. Anyway,
if you have to ask that question,
enough.
you probably have a problem.
Right, and Shaw women, somebody that's asking something a couple times and it's a legit
Oh, yeah, that's
situation,
fine.
not
Yeah,
something toxic.
totally.
Yeah, but like the toxic stuff, it's like just stop. And it's like I don't like going into that energy myself.
Oops. Sorry
And
for
one of the
flipping
things
here.
I wanted to comment
Shaw
on
woman
that,
agrees with you.
Yeah, and something I wanted to comment on, and we all have to decide individually, like what Sherry was just saying, you come on anyways and whatever.
Yeah.
Me, I don't. If I'm not in a good space, I'm not
Mm.
grounded, I'm not whatever,
Mhm.
I don't
Yep.
feel like I should read, and I
Yep.
don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you
Mhm.
don't see me show up, sometimes that's why
Yeah.
I'm not in the space
And
to be
that's
reading,
fair.
because I'm not going to be clear, and I'm not going to be. It's just not going to be the time to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for me, anyways.
Mhm.
No, it makes total
Yeah.
Yeah,
sense.
and Miss Tarot D, this makes sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not saying that we don't want to answer a question that's been asked before, because the energy does change over time
Absolutely.
and a
Yeah,
different
too.
answer
Yeah,
may come out.
absolutely.
But it's when you watch somebody go from show to show to show to show to
It's a
show,
broken record.
say over the course of a weekend, and they've asked
It's
every
abusive.
reader that's on air the same question
Mhm.
15 times. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I've witnessed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it many times.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I'll just
many
be
times.
watching, and some people call it lurking. I don't do it much, but
Yeah.
once in a while, like I don't always feel like engaging and whatever. I'll
Oh,
just listen
exactly.
to my
I do
phone.
the
I don't even
same
look at
thing.
the chat.
I'll
But then
look.
I might
I'll look.
glance at it to say I hear the same question. It's like go over and look and then go back. It's like that. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's free. Anyway,
Yeah.
And it's free.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
Mousy girl, that's wonderful. Yeah.
What's she say? Yeah,
Mousy
just say
girl.
Shawwoman
Wonder
says,
Woman
just a
too.
minute
It is-
before we go to that, Shawwoman
Yeah.
says they're taking time and energy to help others, much respect. Also, you're taking time from other people that have legitimate questions, right? Not that the question wasn't legitimate in the first
Yes.
place, but asking it over and over again. Oh, and she says, free.
Yeah.
Okay, what did Mousy Girl say?
Yeah, haven't asked a lot of questions yet, and those that I do ask, I save so I can go back and really pay
Mhm.
attention.
Yeah. That's a
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
idea. And to
Mhm.
really,
I've done that.
really absorb
Love
what
that.
it is that your guides are telling you from
Yep.
what the answer you got. Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, you know what, Sharon? This has been cathartic.
Yeah.
And very cathartic. I'm glad you brought it
Really,
up.
yes. That, it's to be able to kind of say that in a very respectful way,
Mhm.
but also setting that, the expectation that I will continue to do what I love to do. Just continue to respect what I'm doing. So, yeah.
And Mousy Girl is getting a lot of people agreeing with her in the chat,
Mhm.
saying,
Mhm.
yeah, I see it the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
and also it takes our energy as well to do this. I mean, it's just not, a skip down the road. It's you get done and you're tired. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of energy to connect, to try to listen and hear what it is Spirit's saying to us, whether if we use cards or not. They're just a tool. There's nothing magical about them. They just help us to discern what's being spoken to us. Sometimes we use them and sometimes we don't. It just depends on
Yeah.
that particular day and how plugged in you are, so
Sorry.
and if you're not here, then we're not able to connect with your energy.
Yeah.
To give you
Exactly.
a good
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I wanted to address this. Some people have that feeling of desperation. We know some that are, you can feel the desperation, and I try to, sort of give advice, but when they keep doing it, they're not
Pay for a
listening.
personal reading.
They're not, pay for
Yeah.
a personal reading, and they need to do the work.
Simple.
So, hi, Nancy. So, no, I can feel the desperation. I can feel when somebody's, of course, we all do. We pick up, if they're really, really depressed, that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you want to do a deep dive, then pay for a reading.
Mhm.
Okay, so is there anything else anyone would like to say, or shall we wrap it up there?
Nope.
I thought
Okay.
I would draw a card real quick for the collective.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you. I thought of
Absolutely.
that
It says-
earlier. Thank you.
It says break the chain.
Ah!
Did you handpick that?
I did not. Y'all been watching me sit here and shuffle these
Exactly.
damn
Yes.
cards for 30 minutes. I just kept going and going and going, and Spirit kept saying, keep going, keep shuffling.
Oh, that is
Okay.
hilarious. All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, I got a
Is anybody?
stellar gateway activation. It's about infinite potential manifestation vortex right now. This is a 1011, another gateway.
Yes.
So go for it. Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Um.
I got
Yeah.
healing.
Mhm.
And yeah, absolutely. This was not only healing for me, but hopefully healing for some of you as well. And it's a blessing to be able to receive the healing and give the healing. So yeah, if it comes to you, be grateful for it.
And Allison, Shawwoman's asking you what deck you're using.
I know what I'm using right now. I'm trying to think what I pulled before because I'm sure she's talking about the deck that I was using. Actually, maybe it was the same deck. It was the same deck. I just got this. This is the Hush Tarot.
Alrighty.
HUSH. I just did a deck review on it like 5 days ago. If you go to my channel, you can watch the review and see each card if you're interested. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. For the collective, I got Two of Pentacles, and the World was at the bottom of the deck. This is about coming into the balance after the end of some sort of a cycle. So, and I could go into more, but that's all I'm going to say. And this is look how beautiful this card is.
Yes.
These two little finchy looking birds, and they're holding. I'm still discovering this deck, holding a pair of keys. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. It's very nature based, but it also has life and decay, and it's humorous and also serious. It's very cool. So, anyways, but that's what I got.
Perfect.
Okay. I took this from Language of Letting Go, and it says taking risks. And it actually speaks to maybe those people that keep asking the questions and they keep getting the same answers, but they don't do the work. So you need to take the risk to take the step to do the work. So it says here, today I will ask Spirit to help me begin to take healthy risks. I will ask for assistance in letting go of my fear of failure and success. I will ask for help in fully living my life so that I can start experiencing all the wonderful parts of my journey.
It's like the Fool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and actually that comes back to what you said about Allison about the when you think you're off the path and life shit happens, right? And you go through some awful stuff. It was later that you understand why, that you understand why, and you bless those parts of your journey.
Yeah, the gift that comes later. After
The gift that
suffering.
comes later, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, ladies, who's the host for next week?
Next week is Val.
Okay.
That one there. No, this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one.
The redhead in the middle.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be here, same bat channel. No, we'll be on Val's channel.
Yeah.
But the same time,
Same bad
Wednesdays,
time.
at the same bad time, 4
Yeah.
p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time
Yeah.
on Wednesdays. So We'll see
Yeah.
you next Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Okay, just a minute. I have to find. I've got everything blown up here,
Click the
so I have to.
button.
I have to pinch the screen. Okay, there it is. End stream. Okay, bye all.